All right, let's get right into it here. We got to cover the bases because there is a slate in Major League Baseball tonight. We're going to talk about it here with Mr. Nick Friar, DraftKings contributor, Garion Thorne in the house as well. Favorite DFS and DK Sportsbook plays for tonight. First base, best DFS pitcher. Who you got, Gare Bear?
Yeah, this is a weird slate. It's a small one. There's a lot of good offenses. You could argue that we have like 7 of maybe the 10 best lineups in baseball going at it tonight. So the pitching options aren't exactly plentiful. But I like Ranger Suarez. He's less than $8,000. He's only the 5th most expensive pitcher on this slate, but I think he might actually have the best matchup of some of the more like quote-unquote top-tier guys tonight. Suarez got a little bit beat up in his last start against the Dodgers. That sort of ruined all of his overall numbers for the season, but across his last 3 appearances, he's actually been pretty good. He's got a 2.81 FIP. In that span of time, he's striking out almost 27% of the batters he's faced. And that's the key here because the Braves can hit, but they also swing and miss a ton. In the month of May, they have the highest strikeout rate in baseball, up at 28.8%. So I think Suarez kind of provides some floor. He's like a solid pitcher. He hasn't allowed more than 3 earned runs in a start so far this season. You take that floor, you combine it with the ceiling that the Braves offense can give you with that swing and miss, and I think he's the best option tonight.
All right, about $2,000 less than Giolito on the main slate, who is going to be the highest priced pitcher there. Who do you want, Friar?
Giolito is definitely not a guy that I want a part of. And honestly, looking at this whole slate, I mean, Garion talked about how gross it looks. You also got some weather concerns with some of these games.
Yep.
So you got the White Sox game, you're worried about the weather there. Because I would like Rich Hill a lot in this spot if the weather was an issue, because he's at 7.1K, and if you look at his peripheral numbers, they've been good. But I'd rather, if that game does get rained out, if we do run into weather issues, I think Reed Detmers is a guy you should look at 8.4K going up against the Rangers. Look, as much as he doesn't have a ton of strikeout potential, the Rangers are striking more out against left-handed pitching. And you look at some of their other numbers, as much as they have like an ISO just outside the top 10, some of their other numbers against lefties are getting worse. And look, I don't like Javier against the Guardians that much because that's a team that doesn't strike out a ton against righties. I don't want a right-handed pitcher facing the Astros or the Angels. And then when you look at that Yankees-Baltimore pitching matchup, it's gross. So if Hill's not playing, Detmers is my number 1 pitcher tonight.
Yeah, and let's think just a couple weeks ago, he tossed that no-hitter against the Rays. Let's go to second base now. Best DFS hitter. Who's your dude, Friar?
Yeah, so I like Jeremy Pena a lot in this spot against the Guardians. Cal Quantrill, who's giving up a decent amount of hard contact against right-handed hitting this month, a 36% hard contact rate, 15.2% soft contact. And also giving up a healthy amount of line drives in the course of all this, too, 28.1% line drive rate. And then when you look at Pena, he's getting a ton of line drives off of right-handed pitching this month, as much as he doesn't have a ton of hard contact. But that line drive rate's up to 42.4%. It's got 7 home runs against right-handed pitching 7 home runs this season, 5 against right-handed pitching, 4 of his 5 doubles. We haven't seen an extra base hit from him in a while, so I think he's going to bust out tonight against Quantrill.
All right, Gare Bear.
Yeah, so it seems like those games in Atlanta and Chicago are going to play. There's going to be some rain, but I think as of now, it seems like they're both a go. I mean, we'll see. We don't want a 3-game slate. I know that would stink. I'm going to go with Tim Anderson. I know Hill has some good peripherals. That's fine. He's still Rich Hill. He's still 42 years old. Tim Anderson, 330 career hitter against left-handed pitching. So far this season, hitting .519 with an .815 slugging percentage against left-handed pitching. And just overall, in the month of May, he's been one of the hottest hitters in baseball. He's got a 195 WRC plus since the calendar turned from April. This is what Tim Anderson does. He hits left-handed pitching. So when you've got even if you want to be generous, average left-handed pitcher going to the mound for the Red Sox tonight, I think that Tim Anderson's in a fantastic spot.
What about value as we take ourselves to the third base corner? Garion.
So I'm going to actually say there's a value pitcher tonight. I know Nick wanted nothing to do with this Orioles-Yankees game, but JP Sears is filthy. I mean, he is. He's a very good pitcher. He was kind of just tucked away in the back end of that Yankees bullpen because, he only throws 98. Get out of here. We've got 7 guys who can throw 99. We don't need you. So they send him down to the minors. So far in AAA this season, he's thrown 21 2/3 innings. He's allowed 2 earned runs and struck out 30. He's got some really, really good stuff, and he's left-handed, which is important because the Orioles come into this slate with the lowest WOBA in baseball against left-handed pitching at 271. They've also struck out in 26.6% of their plate appearances against southpaws. I mean, Sears is just $5,500. He's got some pedigree. He's got good stuff. At that price point, I'm almost willing to just blindly take a chance on a guy going up against an Orioles team that is just pretty underwhelming, even with Rutschman now up in the majors.
Friar.
Yeah, so we were talking about those rainout games in question, but with Garion saying that looks a little bit better, then I'm comfortable saying Franchy Cordero is a guy that I like tonight at 2.6K going up against the White Sox. I know Lucas Giolito is a tough guy to go against, highest price pitcher on the slate, but he's limited a ton of limited hard contact from left-handed hitting. But when I look over at DK Sportsbook, I see that Franchy Cordero is minus 130 on his total bases prop. So that's a little surprising. So I got to take a little bit, that into account. And obviously he's been doing well this month. His ISO is just shy of 200, 4 doubles, a home run, 3 triples, against all this against right-handed pitching. And he's got a 37.8% hard contact rate against right-handed pitching. So with this Red Sox lineup rolling right now, I think some guys can do some damage against Giolito in this spot.
Nick, it's time to cross home plate, man. Best money line or run line bets on this main slate tonight.
Yeah, so if the Red Sox-White Sox game is played, I do like the Red Sox in that spot because Lucas Giolito has not been great this month, and I do think that when you look at Rich Hill and look at some of the numbers that he has when you're talking about hard contact versus righties and lefties, as much as he has, some of his numbers haven't been great when you look at like ERA, he is limiting the amount of hard contact that he has given up. But then if that game does get banged, then I like Astros run line going up against the Guardians. This series is split right now at 1-1. They have only lost the Astros only lost one series this month. That was against the Red Sox, who obviously have been hitting really well. You look at Cleveland's bullpen, that their FIP indicates some regression. And I know the Astros, you could say the same too, looking at their FIP this month versus their ERA, but still they're one of the better bullpens in the game right now.
Gary Bear, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm also going to take a pretty sizable money line underdog. I just don't really understand this line between the Phillies and the Braves. I know Charlie Morton's been slightly better his last 3 starts, although he got roughed up by Miami his last time out. I think when you just put all the cards on the table in this contest, this should be about a pick 'em. However, the Phillies are plus 150 in this spot, despite the fact that for the season as a whole, by any metric you want to use, whether it's slugging percentage, WRC plus, WOBA, they've had a better offense than the Braves, and Ranger Suarez has been better than Charlie Morton. Morton's got a 4.81 expected ERA so far this season, and like I said, I like Suarez tonight in this spot against Atlanta. So I think when you're looking at the Phillies being that sizable an underdog, I just think there's some discrepancy there.